In week one, he wore a Richard Mille watch, reportedly worth about $200,000. There's a chance he could be fined by the NFL that employs him for wearing the watch. Odell said, well, he'll still be wearing the watch in week two. Nick, is this a big deal, or is Odell being unfairly treated?
Neither. This is not a big deal. He's not being unfairly treated. Listen, it's a uniform violation, so he should be fined. He recognizes that. He knows that. I haven't heard him complain about a potential fine. I think he either decides because of how much he loves the watch, or maybe because of how much money wearing the watch on the field can make him, it can more than offset the fines. But this is, Alvin Kamara wore a grill in his game, designed by my friend, Houstonite TV Johnny Dang. Nobody cares because Alvin Kamara is not a controversial guy. Odell
is it illegal to wear that, though?
What? No, but there's...
Oh, okay.
See, was he the only person with a uniform violation this weekend? No. But there's... Listen,
how many of them are going to do it again
Odell,
in week two?
Probably a lot of them.
Okay.
Probably a lot of them, Jenna. My buddy Brandon Carr, when he was with the Chiefs, wore socks he wasn't supposed to wear almost every single week.
And all of them are idiots.
Okay, well, that's...
All of them are idiots because one day they're going to look back and see, like, you know how much money I just wasted? When you come into an NFL locker room, the one thing that's different about the NFL is... And the reason why the brand sells the way it does, and the reason why the sport is the most popular. I know Odell don't care. I know Brandon Carr don't care. But the reason is the uniformity between the players and the teams. Do you realize if the NFL didn't have a uniform code, what these guys would come out there looking like?
Sure.
You wouldn't know if a guy had a tail. He would have 8 towels going behind him. I mean, their numbers, like, oh, what number can we have? We can have any type of number. Like, it would not be the product that we see. But the truth of the matter is, Nick don't care about this stuff. But when you're in a locker room, the rules apply to everyone. And this is how you see guys, they gradually get into other stuff, you know, because, oh, I don't care about a $5,000 fine. I don't care about a $20,000 fine. I don't care it's a $100,000 fine. Why wouldn't you care? It's a distraction to your teammates because every game, a former NFL player, typically, because they're the uniform checkers on the sideline, they come up to you and they give you a warning. So why would every game I have another guy who's hired by the league come up to me and have to say, Jenna, you know something? You can't wear that watch. You can't wear that necklace. You can't wear it. And if you don't take it off, we're going to fine you. These former players don't want to do that. So he gets a warning every single game. To me, it don't make sense. It just speaks to how selfish, how much individuals that they are. Because Odell Beckham, what's the money going to make a difference?
Right.
What's it going to make? But being with my teammates and doing the same things my teammates were doing, like, because the teammates are going to have to answer this question. Well, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
No, listen, in the whole league, all the receivers, nobody in the league in week one had more targets without a drop than Odell. On the whole Cleveland Browns team, no one was more productive than Odell. We played a lot of press conference sound bites from the Browns. Oddly, we didn't play Odell. Why not? Oh, because he didn't say anything controversial. Because he said the right things. He played well. So now
but he refuses to wear the uniform.
Okay, because now we've ticked it all the way down to
I'm just going to tell you,
uniform violations.
Well, when you're on a team, Nick, you're not playing golf by yourself. You're not Nadal. You're not some rapper.
Yeah.
All right? And you disregard being on a team and what we have signed up. We're all supposed to be going in this car in the same direction together. But to you, it don't matter.
See, it absolutely matters. But
it couldn't matter for you to be like, I don't care.
I don't think that a uniform violation is all of a sudden pulling the car in a different direction.
But it's another guy, a guy who, oh, I'm hitting the net on the sideline. It's not the same person, Nick. If it was Julio Jones, I'd be like, wow, that's surprising.
But how about the fact that this is a team that just lost by 30 points? Now, wearing the watch once and being fined for it, I'm okay with that. But when you're trying to avoid other distractions and you want to just focus on football, why do you need an extra reporter in the locker room asking a stupid question about a watch?
They sent a watch reporter?
No, No, but they said every reporter asking about his stupid watch. What's the point of that? Just don't
Nick,
wear it
none
again.
of these things are a distraction.
No, hold on. See, please.
Why is it even
Please
a
don't speak for
story?
me in that regard. It's not that none of these things are a distraction. It's that I've
been doing the show with you 2.5 years.
And certain things are a distraction.
What are they?
I acknowledge that.
Tell me what they are.
I acknowledge that what he said in the interview with Lil Wayne and Josina Anderson, even though I said it was honest, it was clearly a distraction. It was an unforced error. He didn't need to do that. I acknowledge that.
What does he gain by wearing the watch, Nick?
I would argue clearly either money. You say all the time. You walk away from this game.
So much money.
Wait, just wait. Let him explain yourself.
You say
explain
either
this
money or
idiotic.
memories is what you can walk away from this game with. He has clearly made the decision.
Who's going to give him more money? The NFL or that watch company?
Well, the NFL's not going to. What are you talking
because the NFL uses Odell and all those. Do you realize those are his partners? All those commercials?
Of course.
Do you realize Head and Shoulders? Do you realize they were doing with Troy Polamalu and other? They recommended OBJ for that.
Right. And
do you understand that he's targeted for a certain amount of dollars by the league office because of who he is?
So if you want to make
and the league likes him.
See, if you want to make the argument that if you were his financial advisor, his agent, whatever, you'd say actually long term this is going to cost you more money than it's going to make you. Fine. Could this maybe be a financial bad decision? I don't know, but maybe. But the idea that this is going to hurt the Browns against the Jets is absurd.
How is that absurd? Coming off a game that they had when you really should just be talking about football. Guess what we're talking about?
Yep.
His watch. And I understand, like I said, you want to wear it once and get fined? Okay. Why go back in and dip your toe in there again? Why wear it again to cause more distractions a second week?
Jenna,
but what's the point?
This is not new, though. We've had guys wear shoes. We've had Marshawn Lynch. We've had these guys make these same mistakes before. Marshawn Lynch in the Super Bowl. And the reason why I know this is because one of my good friends was one of the people that had a discussion with him. If he couldn't wear his shoes, he wasn't going to play in the Super Bowl. And this company was going to pay him a lot of money to wear these shoes. But the NFL is a business. It's a corporation. You just can't be just doing whatever you want to do. And to me, after being in a locker room and seeing all these distractions, seeing guys fine, seeing guys waste money, it never helped the team. Now, you could say, oh, it never hurt the team, but I'm just going to tell you, it never helps the team.
I'm not arguing his watch helps the Browns, for the record.
You also can't say out of one corner of your mouth, I don't want to be a distraction anymore, and then out of the second corner of the mouth, I know I'm going to do something the NFL doesn't want that will bring unwarranted attention to me, and that's something we're going to talk about in the locker room as opposed to say how our offense is
I think you drastically overrate this something we talk about in the locker room. I also
think... We did 15 minutes on it on a national show.
Yes.
Well, what Jenna's correct about...
Go ahead.
What Jenna's correct about is other guys on the team have to answer questions. And they'll answer the questions. They'll go up and down. What do you feel about OBJ's watch? I don't care.
I'll tell you this much, and you're right, see, I haven't been in that locker room. I would, if I were in that locker room, be a lot more upset that I was being asked about the watch if we had just won by 30. Hadn't just gotten dog walked by the Titans by 30, I might be a little pleased. The questions are about the watch and not about the pick six I threw, not about the tackle I missed, not about the mistake I made. But the point that I'm making is this. I am not arguing that Odell's watch helps the Browns. I am arguing that we have Odell. Could we criticize his performance? No, he was actually one of the only good guys on the Browns. Could we criticize what he said? No. So let's run the Jarvis Landry sound, who we never hear from.
But we're still talking about something he's done. Just one time.
Listen,
we're not talking about you, Odell, so let's just let it be quiet.
We can't make excuses for guys. All right? When guys are selfish, we should acknowledge it's a selfish act, and that's what it is. It has nothing to do with the Browns, has nothing to do with this team, has nothing to do with Freddie Kitchens. It's all about their wide receiver singling himself out as being more important than the rest of the team.
But can I ask you this question before we move on?
Of course.
Is it possible that it can be a selfish act with no actual negative impact on the team? I am not arguing that it is not a me, look at me move. Of course it is. Odell has a ton of
argue that
look
this
at me.
Isn't about look at your brand.
Look at me.
But
if I park in the first parking space at the Vikings, which I had for years, if I park in that spot, it's a devious type thing. but it don't affect the team. If some guy parks in there, I don't go in there and hit him over the head with my helmet.
Right.
No.
So how doesn't this fall in that same bucket? It's a diva-ish thing. It's a look at me thing,
Nick,
but it does not affect the team.
I will tell you that I'm going to...
No, this does affect the team. I told you that.
Listen, I worked locker rooms for a number of years. You know what my news director says? Make sure you ask other guys about the watch. Like, just find out how other people feel about the watch. It's why we're talking about it today, which is Wednesday, even though this game was this past weekend. It's why it was on 3 different shows that we watched yesterday. It was why we're talking about this watch as opposed to the
and what
Browns
it does
offense.
is the guys who aren't used to getting covered, they get worn out. Guys like Randall McDaniel. He's a Hall of Fame left guard on the Vikings. He used to answer questions about Moss, myself, who's going to be the quarterback. It wears those guys out because they didn't sign up to have to do these other interviews to vouch for, oh, yeah, I love OBJ. I love it. And you know what they say? They say things to protect him. Because any of the linemen, if they wore a watch, they'd be like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot out here with a watch on, fat boy. They would ridicule him up out the locker room. But because of, we need this special attention as wide receivers so these guys get worn out in answering all these questions that they're like, man, I just wish this stuff would be handled by someone else. So not the people who are used to getting interviewed, the people who aren't, they get worn out by the stupid stuff that the divas, the wide receivers, and other people's on the team. So when people talk about it being a distraction, it's to those people who didn't sign up for that. Someone like Joe Thomas, he was distracted for years, Cleveland. Man, you guys gonna win, you guys gonna win, you guys gonna win, you guys gonna win, you guys gonna win. He had to answer all those questions. He wasn't prepared for that. And these type of questions, they come up to these guys, and these guys get tired of it. There's a 53-man roster. You are not out there in a boat by yourself. Oh, I'm playing golf. I'm Tiger Woods. I'm Nadal. I'm out here by myself. No, you are not an individual. You are on a team. That's what you signed up for. Your mom ran track. If you wanted to run track, you should have ran track. If you wanted to play basketball, you know